You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds is hosted by Tatiana King and DJ Benhameen.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Welcome to the For All Nerds Show. And what's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. The voice of the urban geek, the podcast where we discuss geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. Yeah, I ain't said that first part in a while.
No.
Sounds strange, but there we go. Still flows right off the tongue, because it's your boy, DJ Ben back in the captain's chair, a.k.a. 4DMX, Project Pat McAfee, Lego My Echo, Slade Trilson, Big Dick Grayson Energy, Edward Nigma Please, Cal L. Bundy, Halal Jordan.
I forgot about Edward Nigma Please. That's a good one. I forgot.
Keep that same energy on when you see me, because that'll be relevant a little later in this episode. And as always, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech. I'm still thinking about Edward Nigma. I'm sorry. And then my mind is so messed up, I immediately was just like Edward Nigga Hands. Like, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not even a full 2 minutes, and we just got here. This is Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as the Little Mermaid, Trash Ketchum, Madeline Pryor's, Lord of Lightsabers. It was all a dream fire. Tatiana Kang, the Conqueror, coldest winter soldier ever, Doc Aki, and the Ting of the North.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know what his hands would be like if they were Edward
Stop.
Nigga hands. I mean, you started it. So now I'm just asking the questions that everybody else is asking out there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, out the gate with the foolishness, y'all. I'm sorry.
Out the gate. And
Yeah.
for everybody asking why, if you're watching this on For All Nerds TV, why I'm dabbing my face and why I was just coughing, actually, because I'm getting over a little cold, this switch of the weather.
Yeah.
I've been DJing way too much and signing way too many books. But the latter of those I'm quite happy about.
Oh, you getting that con crud a little bit?
Yeah, boy. I see why cats be wearing masks to signings now, you know? Shout out to my man Earth Tone. He stay with the mask on whenever you're doing a signing, and I have not been doing that.
Joe Illich too.
That's my mistake. I paid for it, you know?
Yeah. And we stay recording when we sick. Like, I be watching them episodes dying laughing. Like,
Yeah.
we are out of it and just still going.
Yo, straight up, I didn't even tell you about this. I remember I didn't tell you about it till afterwards. This was a few years back, but I was like having a wave of nausea, and I was struggling to stand up through the episode, and I didn't even tell you, and I was just over here like,
tell me?
blah, 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 and I'm over here leaning on my table, pointing
Why
to
would
something.
you tell me?
I can't remember why I didn't tell you. I'll just, I was like, I'm powerful.
You was like,
this
just get
shit.
this done. But
I'm a man, and it was like, it was terrible.
No. The ones I hate the most is when it's just like, you're not killing over sick like you just described, but like you have, for me, it's always sinuses. So then I sound like I have, I'm a duck. And it just sounds terrible, bro. Oh my God.
I just hate when I have this cough and I'm just like, it sounded like anything. But like I said, part of it is because I've been out here signing copies of Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. Out now from everywhere you can get it, anywhere and everywhere. So thank you to everyone for all the support. I mean, it's been wild, yo. I got a post from Amsterdam the other day. This cat was like, yo, brilliant graphic novel from, he owns a shop in Amsterdam. And he was just like, yo, this is just
so he
brilliant.
ordered that for his shop.
Yes. So I was like, bro, I'm coming out to Amsterdam just to sign copies. I'm going to do it at some point soon.
You should.
Today I went down to Word Is Change, a local bookstore in Brooklyn, and I dropped some copies in there, and I was signing them outside. Then I went to get some food at Waru, the spot you love. Mm-hmm. And while I'm over there, this woman walks up to me and is like, yo, I saw you signing books. What was that? And I pulled an extra one out. Ayo, and she was like, "Oh, that's crazy," you know. And so I signed it for her and her son Nasir. So I signed the joint to Nasir, who was
Nasir
like,
Jones.
Yeah, no, but he looked. I was like, Nas. He was like, yeah, looking at me like, nigga, I hear that
Like, I heard
every
that
goddamn day. So but because he was like 11 or 12, so I'm sure he's heard that too much. But
He's annoying.
he seemed really interested in the book too, so I was really
That's
hyped that little
That's
kid's
good.
trying to get it now and read it. And
I mean, you're gonna have to have that thing on you at all times. You gotta slang
pretty
it.
much,
Slang
I have
it in
to
the
say,
streets.
like this cover and just I know the concept and stuff is so weird and so crazy, but when you show people the cover, either one of them, and when you tell people the concept, they're like, yo, what the fuck? Give me that.
Yeah, because
like
it don't look like nothing. It don't look like nothing. When I say don't look like nothing, it don't look like anything else that's out there.
There you go. Someone else who bought it said they took it on a plane and were reading on the plane, and they had to, like, people were just trying to take it from them.
Of course, because
Yeah.
on the plane is peak nosiness.
Yes.
Peak nosiness. Like niggas watching each other's movies from 2-3 hours
Facts.
away. Of course, if you pick up something like that and it's
An
mad
ill,
interesting
big ass
looking,
book, and it's bright and colorful.
What's that? You know?
Yep. And then it's Jimi Hendrix, and they're like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said before,
yeah.
Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze out right now. Thank you to everyone who's been copying it. If you do cop it still, please tag me at DJ Ben Amin, tag at For All Nerds, you know what I mean? And let us see you, because I'm just so gracious and grateful. Thank you to everyone, man. This has been a really amazing experience. It's still going on. I'm doing another interview tomorrow night. A cat reached out to me from one of the colleges in Brooklyn.
Yes.
And was like, yeah, they want to write about this for their college paper. Yep.
You have
The
to do
Vanguard.
obviously Howard, but you got to do the college tour.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
You got to do a college tour. Like hit up, especially the liberal arts colleges, things like that. Like they love that shit. So you need to pull up.
Well, I'm going to Houston, and shout out to Gulf Coast Cosmos Comics, the only black-owned comic book store in Texas.
What?
In H-Town. I know. He told me this. I had a phone call with the owner, and I was like, word? He was like, yeah. And
that's a good marketing point, but damn.
I know, damn. And they're in the third ward, the Trey, where I'm from. And so we're, Thanksgiving, I'll be doing a signing, like Black Friday that weekend, I'll be doing a signing, and we're planning something with the Contemporary Arts Museum, I think, down there as well.
Yes. So. Oh, that's a perfect combo. Like the art, the museums, and then with the schools.
Yeah.
You got to hit up UCLA. You already know.
Oh, yeah.
You already know who to talk to.
Oh, right. Damn. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to hit them up this week. Thank you. You're right. Because that would be a lit one.
Just put my 15% to the side. So
I
give you a 5% discount.
We both gonna have to go back out there for that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It don't matter if 5 people show up again.
Look, UCLA got the money to pay for it if 5 people or one person showed up. So that's all that matters. You know what I mean? And then 5 people had a great time. So
right.
That's what mattered. So again, thank you all. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze in stores now. We got a lot to talk about on this episode of For All Nerds.
Yes.
It's a crazy time, as you see from the sign right there. Shout out to Shannon, my HU. Sisterin, who designed the Howard U. for Harris sign that you see shining behind me.
My mind all messed up today. I'm glad you continue that line, because when you said Shannon, I thought Shannon Sharpe. And I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
It took me a second to find the video, but I saw it. Look, I'm a huge.
That's not what I want to talk about.
I don't want to talk about it either. I'm a huge Shannon Sharpe fan. I've been a fan for years, so I'm just trying. Things happen. Hey,
come on, are you dead ass?
Come on, I'm dead. Yeah, this is the nigga who was smoking Black and Milds and drinking Hen on the rocks.
He said, I just said I didn't want to talk about it. He said I was hacked. My guy.
Nigga.
My guy.
Nigga.
And then
we all know your voice, nigga.
And then you weren't hacked. This isn't fake. Because who would fake this specific activity from you specifically? It was you. It was you. Interesting. Short, but it was you.
Hey, yep.
All right, I don't want to talk no more about that. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. This nigga's nightcap tonight, though, right? I got to go on YouTube. He got the nightcap show every night on YouTube. I'm peeping that tonight.
Oh my God.
Them ratings is up tonight. I'm watching that tonight. This shit might be live right now.
Could be a publicity stunt to get people to listen.
Yeah, I mean, he's already having a great year, so whatever boosts them ratings.
And I'm sorry, Uncle Shannon, you're not a good interviewer, but you have great guests. So
I mean, and you got to grow into it. He could grow into being a great interviewer. So I would give him time. I will say that because whether or not he's the best interviewer, the interviews have been entertaining.
Great guests.
So, but other people have had those same guests and have not gotten those interviews out of them
because the guests probably don't like them.
There it is, and see, that's what I'm saying. That's all part of it. It's like people might like us. We might not always deliver the best interview, but people are gonna fuck with us so much that they're gonna give us. Oh, that's a lie.
Our interviews.
No, I mean, I'm saying.
I mean, let's not lie on us.
Yeah, truly.
I mean,
truly.
All of our interviews is fire.
Yeah, truly. I mean, our interviews are out of control.
Like we know what we're doing, but whatever. Like you said, give it some time.
Yeah, give it some time. You know what I mean? So, I really don't want to talk too much about the debate other than, that nigga's washed and, been washed. And I'll say this one thing. There's like, as a black man watching it, I was so fearful for her. You know what I mean? Because I know how a black woman's every movement is judged, And so every time she smirked, I was like, oh, fuck, is she doing too much? You know what I mean? Every time she look at, an eye roll,
response,
any type of human response, I'm sitting there like, fuck.
And that didn't stop those folks from coming after her.
But the general response today was that she slayed. She came out there and did her goddamn thing. And that's what I was most happy about. And I will say this because I've been having discussions. I'm not going to name names right now, but I talked about it on Twitter and I'll say the same thing. I've been having discussions with a certain influencer. A blurred influencer. And I've realized that there are a lot of people out here who are, I have to say straight, and I'm looking dead in the camera and I say this, not educated enough. You know what I mean? Straight up and down. And even though they have a large influence on people, their views come from a place where I just have to say they are just rather uneducated on a lot of things and come from a place where they just don't know the history a lot of this country, of its policies, of why police were created, of various things like that. Why we have two parties, all these little things, And so seeing that and seeing these same people who are like basically closet Trump supporters, because there's a lot of black men who are basically closet or out publicly Trump supporters. And seeing this woman drag this nigga all around that stage last night was so great. But like I also watched Jon Stewart afterwards, and he said it best. It doesn't really matter because every champ move she makes, if somebody don't fuck with her already, it's just to be like, she lying, she doing this, whatever.
Yeah, so, this is not going to change. I mean, if you was on the fence and how, but if you was on the fence, this, I don't even believe in all that. Yeah, there's no way.
Like this same person told me they weren't voting for anyone, and I think that, or for either of them, and I think that's a pussy. Sorry, not pussy. Pussy's great. I think that's a weak man move. You know what I mean?
It's a weak move in general. Yeah. Man, woman, or they, them. Like it's a weak move. And I understood like when people like the philosophy behind it on paper. Yeah. But in practice, that's a problem because now you are allowing the ops. And yes, we can have a whole conversation about who's the ops of what. I get it. You can have a whole conversation about they're both the same level of evil. And I'm just letting you know.
No, I don't believe that.
It's not the truth. One is not true. And one op is much more detrimental to your immediate health than the other op. Yeah. So you gotta make some action in order to avoid basically the end of everything. So as far as the debate as how I felt, I thought she did it, but like I expected it as much. Like I didn't expect nothing less. I'll say this now. I am a Harris supporter. Yeah. I'm not a supporter of all her policies. No. I criticize her on the daily. I disagree with a lot of the stuff she talks about, particularly
she was up there
Israel.
Like, I'm gonna keep on fracking last night.
That was crazy.
God,
that was pandering as fuck.
Girl.
But I just wanted to say this line, like particularly her whole stance on Israel and the whole thing. I don't believe in that talk point that she keeps saying everywhere, where it's just like, oh, I'm about allowing Israel to defend itself. You are aiding and abetting genocide. And that's how I feel about it. And anyone listening, if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. This is how I feel about it. You're not going to change that point from me. So all that to say that there's some stuff that I do not like that she's about and supports, and that will continue to be voiced by me, and I will continue to voice my opposition to that. At the same time, I know who I want to run this country, and that is Kamala Harris, and that is Tim Walz as her. I was almost calling him Waltz. It's such a black thing to call him Waltz, but Timothy W. Like, I want them in the slot, okay? Timothy W. and Kamala. For me, as far as the debate itself went, as I expected, but what the biggest emotion and takeaway I had from it was that I was embarrassed particularly. Kamala, and forget black women, all that. Kamala is of a caliber that she should not even have to contemplate holding court with such a clown.
Yeah.
The fact that such a person is allowed to even be in that space and that level that requires, that truly does, when you're really supposed to do this right, it truly requires a level of consideration, intelligence, class, and understanding that is just completely devoid from this man. And for her to be subject to that shit is embarrassing to me. I hate that shit, okay? And then it goes even deeper when you're like, man, this nigga was actually president. Like, that's when they say the U.S. is a third world country in a Gucci belt, this is what I'm talking about. This shit.
I mean, you work in corporate America, like it's just like when I was about to say, I've worked in the Hollywood industry, so like, it's always embarrassing because
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Unfortunately, it's not surprising that he became president because like these.
I know the makeup of this country.
Yeah, these niggas run every other industry.
So we see what happened.
Yeah.
However, still somehow, I mean, at least it wasn't apparent, right? Like the closest silly one we had was Bush, but even then, he still was a particular character, if you will, right? He wasn't saying or doing the shit he was doing, okay? At least not in the forefront.
See, that's the thing, and that goes back to history, though, and also there's not being enough video of a lot of cats because, I mean, in my lifetime, Reagan was right there. He's worse than Bush, easily. And,
I'm sure he was. I'm just saying.
And in a way, I would say worse than this nigga. Yeah. But same difference. Same difference.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just there's not like we don't have as much video footage of Reagan, but that man was a pure fool. And then there's people well before my time who were just pure idiots. I don't know all the history. I know Nixon wasn't the smartest nigga ever. You know what I mean? It's we've had, sadly this country has been run by dumb white men for a long time.
Well, all that said, yeah, I thought she did great, but it was what I expected. It was some funny stuff happening though last night. I got some good jokes off. Yeah. Some good tweets off last night. I told Abdul not to do it. Like, who the fuck is Abdul, my guy? But okay.
Racism, nigga. That's who Abdul is. It's just... This shit is so. I can't lie though. Like, I'll tell you what my favorite thing about Trump is.
They eating the cats and the dogs.
No, not even though. It is his inflection, like how he ends the sentence with just like it's like this regret, sadness. It's like they're driving our country into the ground.
China.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got to say that last night, and that was great.
I mean, China. It's funny when you're talking about entertainment and clowning. It's not funny when you're talking about the nigga running a country.
No, it's insane.
This country specifically.
Again, I don't want to see him get another chance. I don't know if we can survive, but we have survived.
We cannot.
We've survived pure foolishness before.
Amongst other things, Project 2025, but we cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot survive another court jester appearance.
It's tight. And it's tight on a lot of levels, and but then of course I'll keep on fracking ain't really helping, a lot of levels of it either. So and my last point on this and on the whole Israel-Palestine thing is I really don't like when people are like, oh, she's not gonna do this, I'm not gonna vote for her. Like, shorty, this is thousands.
That can't be the only reason.
This is not only that. This is thousands of year-old conflict. It's not going to be solved in, I don't know, in our lifetime. I would like to see it, at least get to something. But realistically,
You know what needs to happen for it
the
to
way
get
that
to
people,
something. And unfortunately, it involves the U.S. And we're not going to do it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. For it really to get to what people want is not even a 2-state solution. You know what I mean? It is a whole different solution that's not even being discussed. You know, because a 2-state solution, according to most people who are really about it, it's like that ain't gonna fix the problem. So there's like another solution that people ain't really discussing right now, and that's so far off that you can't put it on her to get there, because she and this country is like the conflict is thousands of years old. Mm-hmm. This country is 400 years old of being fuckery. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and some people are unreasonable with what they want her to change. But the things that are, at least on paper, reasonable, they're not reasonable from a trying to win election standpoint. They're not reasonable from a, I have all these people holding the strings behind my back. And I have to do or say certain things, at least to a degree, at least until I get into the door. Then when I get into the door, maybe I could turn up and do something. But my thing is we got to get her in there first. Like, and then get her in there before then you start. And then, like I said, then you can start putting pressure on and be like, yo, we got to change your policy. Yo, this idea of just willy-nilly throwing, just handing them the burner. Like, no. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No. Like, that's when you can't. That's fine to disagree, but just say, okay, well, I'm not going to vote for you. Nigga, what?
It also has to do a lot with capitalism. That's the other problem that people don't get. It's like niggas don't keep handing them the burner because that burner making the money. And it's whether or not America is giving them money, other people will, because
it's so complex. And we don't have the time or the space or the political wherewithal to really get into all of it. But all that to say of our views of how we thought the debate went.
Yeah. Cool. Whatever. Yeah. Another video that we watched this week. It
was last week, actually.
Last week. Yeah. It's been a long week.
Talk about it. It's been a long 4 days.
Man, has it been. Oh, rest in peace to a lot of people too, man.
Oh my God. I also wanted to mention that. We could go down that list later. But...
Yeah. Oof. Been a lot. Been a lot, fam. Yeah, right now, though, we got to peep Beau DeMayo's explanation video that he released on OnlyFans.
On his OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm. The Fall Nerds team did the research, know.
Yeah. We will go to great lengths to get the information for y'all. Yeah.
Thankfully, he had his shirt on.
He was fully clothed, yes. But what we're talking about is when we say the explanation, like the question that has always the big elephant in the room, which has always been, what happened? How come you got fired? Why you ain't say nothing about it? Mm-hmm. And so we watched it, and it was about 35 minutes, something like that. Yep. And half of it was kind of talking in circles for me a little bit, but
a little bit.
I'll say this, and we can go into details in a second, but I'll say this. It's two things that's here for me. I believe him. I believe every word.
Wow.
I also think there's things that he is not taking accountability for.
Okay. All right.
And I'll explain later why I believe every word.
My thought process is I want to believe him.
I want to believe.
Badly.
I want to believe these things are real.
Yeah. I'm like, it's still real to me, damn it. When I first started watching the video, I was like, nigga, please. I think that might have been the same feeling you were having, right?
Yeah. I was like, I literally, Ben, you took the words out of my head. I just didn't say it out loud. I was like, nigga, are you dead ass? Well, I said, I didn't say please. I said, are you dead ass?
Yeah. I was like 10 minutes in. I was like, oh, nigga, please. And then I don't know, around minute 15 or so, I was like, okay. All right, you got some points here. All right. And then by like minute 30, when it finished, I was like, damn, let it be real, Mm-hmm. But there's still a lot of nigga please, even around like minute 25, like after. So, all right, basically what Beau is saying, you have to see the whole video, but shorthand is that it all went bad when Beau decided to report people who he felt were, violating and going, not in a sexual harassment way, but in a disrespectful way.
He said somebody was having an inappropriate relationship.
He did say that. That was one thing. He did say that. And see, that one was when I was like, but nigga, they said you're having inappropriate relationships. So it's like, I want to believe, but and then there's the history of The Witcher.
Do it in do your David Duchovny voice. I want to believe.
Yeah, like I heard the same, and you didn't talk about The Witcher at all, so it's like, I don't know, but Bo basically said everything went sour when when Bo started reporting, one person on the team was having an inappropriate relationship with someone, like, an intern or something. Same things Bo's been accused of.
Well, he said that was part of the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They said
started.
There was mad offensive things being said.
He said that because they try to paint him as hard to work with because he was doing things like asking for help for people, like with people. He saw people on his team struggling, right? Like people falling asleep because they're working 2 jobs or something like that and trying to be a staff writer, for example. He said like he would go and ask them for some type of help for these people. And, essentially Disney would laugh in his face, or they would say, they would make his life harder because he was trying to buck the norm or the status quo.
Yeah. Which doesn't sound far-fetched because I don't know what the rate for staff writers for animation is, but I know it's usually less than it is for a staff writer for a regular series.
Live action, yeah.
I also heard that Disney is trying to cheat in general and
I believe it. Most multinational trillion-dollar entities are.
And might not pay rates that are standard rates, and especially when it comes to animation, you can get around a lot of shit. So it's. Oof, I just thought about that. Yeah, they probably were getting fucked. Because, because animation is about to go on strike themselves because they just don't get paid the right way. And I know that.
That's why Spider-Verse is delayed indefinitely right now.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
But I'm look, get what y'all need, get paid. But continuing on this, it was just a lot of bullying, it seems like. Bullying tactics. And I'm just going by what Bo said. It was just bullying tactics. And every time like he would try to fight for the rights of his own people or himself or stand up for himself, they would just like look at get a load of this guy and make his life worse. So
yeah,
and it was, and like I said, from that standpoint, like I hear what you're saying. At first I was like, nigga, all right, whatever, but I believe all of that. Like,
yeah, it's not hard to believe.
I believe what he says. It's not hard to believe, and it's been proven time and time and time again. Even without you and I not being in the space we're in media, and you not having a writer's background, it's been publicized time and again. There are whole strikes completely revolving around of some of the points that he mentioned. So there's no way you can tell me what he said was all out of his ass. Like there ain't no way. That's why I said I believe it. I believe what he says. Well, people, what did he say? The executives was telling him some wild shit. What? It was some wild shit he said the executive told him. And I was just like, yeah, I believe that. Some Disney overlord coming at him crazy. I believe it. I believe it. Because these people think they're untouchable.
The other side of it is that showrunners are a very special breed of people, I can say.
And that's where the other side comes in.
And it's a very rare showrunner I've ever met who isn't at the very least a bit of an asshole. And from what I hear, the majority of them are super assholes. And then there's like some cool ones every now and again.
Right.
It takes an egotistical person, first of all, because it takes you believing your vision is, the one. And when
it was
people
right in this instance, but
yeah,
the energy it's like you can be right, but the energy behind how you right, that's where the issues lie. And, I always
talk about Mark Barnes, the dude I worked for in DC. Anyone who knows the DC, knows Mark Barnes, club life at least. And Mark's an asshole. Fuck out of here. I'll tell him to his face.
He probably
son
says
of a bitch.
That too.
Yeah, but he runs a great ship. But I've always said you ain't got to be this much of an asshole to run a ship like that, because I've met other club owners who ain't as much assholes and have dope clubs. So it's like,
yeah. And as mentioned, this is what I meant when I said I don't think he's taking accountability, because throughout this whole process, and granted, you can say people were fearful, because he said the same. He said, obviously contracts and NDAs and stuff like that. People are fearful for their own position and stuff like that. They may not speak up. But for I didn't see a lot of any type of speaking up. I think maybe a couple of times. I'm thinking back to the fact that he was always very vocal on Twitter, right? When the show was out, X-Men 97. When the show was out, the first week, maybe nothing. But then he was just every week. And it became, After that next week, every day that man is, giving some gems and talking about the behind the scenes and all that stuff. The other people, like we found some staff writers and other people involved in the process who also started chiming in about different episodes. I never once saw them, not to say interact, but like mention Bo in any sort of light. Like I would think this is the difficult part. Like I said, I understand contracts, I understand NDAs. You don't want to, and also just fear,
and
right?
You don't want to rock the boat.
You don't want to rock the boat. No one really spoke up.
No.
On behalf of him at any point. Like, and when I say speak up, I mean not disparaging your overlord, not disparaging anyone else, just saying, yo, I really enjoyed my time, or yo, that was really cool. Like anything. I saw none of that.
But that was another, and I will say this because we can also say this. We've been trying to get Bo on the show since he started talking on Twitter.
He follows us. He may, if he listens to the show, he may unfollow us after this. But this is
well, fuck out of here. I DM'd that man a million times. He got back to me, gave me his email, and then he went silent.
Yeah.
Understanding the situation, I understand why he went silent.
I understand too.
Yeah, I'm not upset about that. I'm just a little bothered when they're like, yeah, I'll do it, and then they don't. But I also understand the situation, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, we're also not entitled, right? So I understand how he feels. Like you said, it was a situation.
Yeah, it's a situation. But my other side of it is, on Twitter, I did feel like I saw like once, maybe twice, where Bo would big up the rest of the staff.
Oh.
And I always felt that was, and then at one point someone said something to him about it, and he was like, no, da-da-da-da. And then one time he was like, look up all the names in the credits. All these people deserve work. But
he wasn't attacking nobody. He wasn't saying nothing.
No, never once. And for a large part of the time, and even now, he'd be like, I came up with this, I came up with that, I came up with that. And I'm like, I'm sure you did a lot of it. But I don't know. Like, I've seen showrunners who came up with everything. And their writing staff were basically there to, do nothing and collect some checks. And then I've seen showrunners who did nothing and the writer staff did everything. And I've seen the collaborative efforts when everybody came together and made a season. So it's tough to say what happened here. And then Disney is different ways of operating their rooms where Bo is not even known as a showrunner, etc. So I don't know, but it did just feel weird to me the way that they just wouldn't really say, yo, a lot of people worked on this most of the time.
And you know what? Even beyond just level of collaboration, because this could have been a true collaborative effort, but what was the environment like? What was the energy like? Understand? And that's why I'm like, I think it's more important, and why I also mentioned how other people are like, if I was Bo and hearing me say something like that, you may feel defensive, right? Like, well, you stood up for people and you're the one who took the brunt of the blows and potentially maybe the reason why you didn't include a lot or talk a lot about these others because you were trying to protect them. Fine. Why don't these people speak up, right?
Yeah, that's
in any way. And again, there's ways to do it where you can still protect yourself, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's the end all be all. It just looked funny to me. So I don't know. And like you said, just that idea of I did this, and when it was a lot of people involved, and we know there was a lot of people. The other folks that were there, the storyboard and other people, they said what they did, right?
Yep.
And it just felt like he was saying what he did, and they were saying what they did, and they were just
not interacting.
The streams never crossed.
No.
So I don't know.
Once saw him interact with Chase Conley, one of the main directors.
Yeah,
because he bid up Chase, and that was around the same time when he was like, "Look up everybody." But in general, like I say, because we were following him and peeping everything, and I was just like, yo, this dude is always like, I made this, I made that. And I'm like, all right.
And let's be clear, we recognize that the vast, at least the steering of this is indeed all Bo. This is his creation.
Yes.
This is why season 2 was moved forward without him. Is that damn strong, probably. So I hope he does hear this. And when you do hear this, understand, we recognize who you are. We recognize your talent and your ability and potentially the things you sacrificed, which led to the situation that you're in now with Disney. I believe what you said. I also think there's some stuff that you're not holding yourself accountable to. What that is, I'm not 100% sure, but that's the energy I'm getting, okay? And I'm an empath. I'm really wrong about these things. There's something going on, my brother.
And it also hurt me, I will say, when I was watching the video and you were talking, Bo was talking about, he's like, I'm a nobody who just made this show, and now I'm a nobody who has this corporation trying to kill me. And that shit hurt me because I'm like, because I know
for him to be going through that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know exactly how I feel. I never got no showrunner status, none of that. But I know how Hollywood is, and it'll make you feel like you're a nobody, and you will feel like a nobody because, like, outside of this bubble, people don't know who the fuck this nigga is. He could walk around anywhere, and no one would. It's like, unless he's in this weird nerd bubble.
Unless you on his OnlyFans too, he got
that type of thing. Yeah, so that type of thing, But in general, they don't, and then it's like even by making this video, the chances of him working for any of the bid joints.
You think because he spoke up now?
Yeah, it's tight.
That's a problem
tight.
now.
Oh my God, I can't
he said Disney even prior to him speaking out. He said Disney blacklisted him. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even
you think
before
this is
that
worse now?
Oh yes. Oh my God, you can't rock the boat at all.
Okay, so let's apply another layer. Do you think this is the fact that he's black? Because if he was a white man rocking the boat, he would still get away with. They might not fuck with him for a little bit, but he'll be redeemed versus him.
Oh yeah, kick him out. He would be redeemed if he was white. If he was black, there ain't no. I don't know if there's a chance. And then also it's the thing of I'm not sure if he built up enough cred. We're all like, oh my God, the greatest season ever. But again, there was a lot of people who went into that greatest season ever. And Disney is like, well, this property is going to sell itself. Season 2 might only get 75% Rotten Tomatoes success, but we'll still be making millions. So that's their view right now. And then they're like, well, if not, and then maybe season 3 will get 90%. They don't give a shit because it's still, they know they are cooking now. So it's going to keep rolling either way. So that's why that hurt, because it's like that man did put his heart and soul into this. A lot of the shit was him. I know that Gambit shit that, all that was him. Like, he was like, that was in my Bible when I pitched this shit. And then, for him to be removed from it and them just keep moving. And as much as everybody, loved it, when that next season, if it's even near as good, people are going to quickly be like, oh, well, Bo, what's up with this season and season 3? That's just the reality of it.
If there is a season 3 and if he truly was the only special sauce behind this, and we'll see. We'll see the difference.
We'll see in season 2 because they're not even going to use a lot of his shit. They already said that.
Oh, really? Then we're going to see even faster.
We're going to see faster than that because they brought in a new showrunner, and when they do that, when they bring in a new showrunner, legally it's a lot of things with that, so they'll throw out as much of that as they can.
But I thought even legally, the way, especially Disney contracts are horrible. I've been on one. They don't let you do nothing. You don't own nothing.
You own nothing.
So why would they technically legally wouldn't have to throw out anything?
But they want to take away his credits.
They do want to take away his credits, which
and to do that, so you would rewrite scripts and shit so that he wouldn't have. Right. Yeah, it's fucked up.
And even though he got nominated for that Emmy for that episode, Remember Me, they took away his invite, so couldn't even go. So.
And then it looks like what the hell was this Emmys in the fall?
Listen, so everyone has been so confused because and this is also right now. For all nerds news too. First of all, congratulations to Queen Angela Bassett because she got her first out of 100 years, her first fucking Emmy. This is the Creative Arts Emmy. And I don't know if this was the one that got postponed because of stuff happening or what, or this is just the time for the Creative Arts. And then the other Emmys are in
what?
Winter. It's never this time of year, so I didn't know what's going on.
And the ceremony is supposed to be this weekend, right? They're actually showing the ceremony this weekend. I
don't fucking know. All I know is when.
So what did she win for?
Mother Bassett came up with the thing. I said, wait a minute. Emmy, what?
Best Actress?
Creative Arts Emmy for narrating Queens, the thing about lions. Is that let me see.
This is
and it was right. It's so it's I'm glad, but I'm also how disrespectful.
Yeah, this some bootleg Emmy shit. This ain't the real Emmys.
It's the creative Emmys, man. What do you mean?
This is not the real Emmys.
It's going to be on FXX when? September 14th.
Oh, this ain't the real Emmys on FXX.
No, I'm just saying it's one of the stations is going to be on.
If this shit on ABC, NBC, or CBS, it ain't the real Emmys. If your grandma can't watch this shit with no problem,
Ben,
this ain't the real Emmys.
Yeah. So first of all, it doesn't fucking matter. Everything's streaming, okay? I don't care who owns what. Everything's streaming.
Yeah.
Second, she won for Outstanding Narrator. Angela Bassett for Queens, African Queens, and that's about the female lionesses.
All right, cool. Anyway, Beau DeMayo, and they lost to that Michael Green and them, the samurai shit, Blue Eyed Samurai.
Blue Eyed Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed that. Yeah. I mean, Blue Eyed Samurai was crazy.
Up into the end.
I hate how it fucking ended. Fuck them.
Michael Green, I'm mad at you, bro, and I'll talk to you about.
Why would you do that, bro?
We know why you did that, for the money, bro.
For the money. Oh yeah, we did say that last. We said that months ago for the money.
We know why you did it.
But nah, bro. Like, if you're talking about a full body season of work that was perfect from nose to tip, nose to tail, X-Men 97.
Yeah, man. No.
Are you serious right now?
Serious. Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, Blue Eyed Samurai was fire though.
Bo, holla at us. You want to talk your side? You want to cuss me out? I prefer you do it on our show. But let's do it.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you about this. I mean, not even about this. I was just, like I say, that was my thing. I always wanted to say, because people were like, yo, ask him why he got fired. And I was like, I ain't asking that nigga shit. I'm asking that nigga about this show and, like, how it went. Like,
as we say, we're always going to keep it real and 100% on this show. And we're going to say it how it is. We're also, to us, we're not going to ask the obvious and, and silly, honestly, is. And when I say silly, I don't mean it's a stupid question. I just mean it's silly because I'm not going to.
He can't answer it.
He can't. He can't answer it. And two, I'm not going to trigger someone right away on some shit like that you can't even control. Like, let's talk about something that's more prescient, right? So,
I've been fired. If someone had asked me why I got fired or what happened off American Gods a month after it, I would have slapped him in the face.
Right. And as I'm saying, like, and the timing was wild. Now that he's spoken up about it, like I said, once the person opens the door, then, Sure.
Now we can see, But
But before, y'all, we can't do that.
And there wasn't even no controversy when I got fired. It was just some Hollywood shit. And I was still like, nigga, don't ask me about that shit.
Get the fuck out.
Nigga, still. People talk about Neil Gaiman now. I'm being redeemed, but somebody came up to me and Mello recently and was like, oh, you worked on American Gods? You must love Neil Gaiman. I was like, fuck no, I don't. And they were like, oh, what? I was like, nigga, fuck no, I don't. And then, like a week later, yet more sexual misconduct allegations came out against him. Bloop. But I already didn't fuck with him, so, And with that, thanks for getting me into Hollywood. I mean, it's your book got me there, but beyond that, fuck out of here, nigga. Been a lot of fuck out of here tonight.
Y'all giving us fuck out of here material.
Yeah, sorry. And with that, though, we are gonna take a short break, and we'll be back with more For All Nerds. So you ain't got to get the fuck out of here.
Cheese and bread.
Yo, it's your boy Farrell Monch. I'm tuned in to For All Nerds.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Fantastic Frankie. I'm listening to For All Nerds.
What's up? This is E-Man, and I'm listening to For All Nerds.
Peace and elevation, everybody. My name is Crown, and you are now listening to For All Nerds.
What's up, everybody? This is Troy Jeffrey Young, and you're watching For All Nerds.
All right, and we are back, y'all. And right now, we got a very special review of the new Transformers animated film. I don't even know the name of it.
Transformers 1.
Because unfortunately, like you see, I was down bad. I've been doing too much signing, so I couldn't make it to the screening. I've been hearing for months that Transformers 1 is some fire. Like, that was like one of the ones where I was like, word? And they're like, nah, bro, like, don't, I know the movies or whatever, they're okay. But they're like, this animated joint they got coming out. I think I started hearing this like last year. People were like, yo, next year. Da-da-da. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, I don't know. The animation didn't look much to me. And I was like, I don't know. But people were like, nah, bro, it's fire. So I really wanted to see this joint. I did not get to see it, but our very own Tatiana King got to see it. So we're gonna do a pretty much no spoiler review because I still want to see this joint.
Yes.
And we're not gonna spoil y'all.
No.
So
no spoiler review.
No spoiler review. Go
ahead.
All right, it's animated, right? I know absolutely nothing.
Good.
People have been saying, you told me before the show started that a lot of this has been spoiled for people. So if you are out there, watch out that people are spoiling it left and right.
Be careful, guys. Deadass, the whole, if not most of the movie is already online. And there are images. And it's all over Twitter too. So be very careful with them hashtags.
Like the whole movie, the videos online? Word?
Whole scenes are out there.
Not the whole thing, though. I'm just asking for a friend. I
don't know shit about that.
You know,
my agent is listening. My FBI is listening. I don't know shit about that.
I'm just asking for friends. But no. So for those who have seen nothing, what is the general plot of this? Because I don't know jack.
Sure, I'm gonna answer that question in a second because I want to just lead up with the fact that, yes, a lot of critics actually already seen this a bit ago, and I heard rumblings, but I didn't really pay attention to the details. Yep. I also purposely didn't, besides like that one trailer, I didn't watch anything about it. I didn't seek any information about it. And I did not even know the plot of the movie until I sat my ass down in the theater, okay?
Nice.
Shout out to our peoples, because we was in the big Dolby theater too. The big big Sony Dolby one. Yeah, I was on the top, bro. I was in the balcony shit with the feet up. Oh, and we got popcorn, and we got candy, and we got soda. So,
damn it.
My fault. But
there was no special bucket?
No, we didn't get nothing special. No, you got the works when you went to the Wolverine screening.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was a really big one. Yeah. Maybe they did something in the 3D version. I just went to the standard def because I don't give a damn about 3D versions of the film most times.
Nah.
I actually accidentally saw Deadpool in 3D, and I was so mad about that. But
yeah, I ain't seen a 3D joint in years now.
Yeah. The story, and I'll read the line here, the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron.
That's what it is. It's young Optimus and young Megatron.
Yeah. Better known as sworn enemies, but once were friends, bonded like brothers who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. That is the plot line.
So this shit, okay, so judging by that and judging by your reaction to it, I would say this shit must go real hard on the breakup of Optimus and Megatron.
DJ.
Yeah.
Of 4 Nerds. Of Ben Hampton, if you will.
Yes.
This shit goes so goddamn hard.
Right?
I say this, first of all, and let me be very clear. I am a Transformers fan, okay? I came in on Beast Wars. That's where my entry point was. Ben Ami was there in the beginning,
From the gate.
Ben was there in the beginning, okay?
Those are some of my first toys ever, dog.
This is just generational difference, okay?
Yeah.
That aside, if you are any sort of Transformers fan, if you get any inkling of understanding of Transformers, even if you are fast forward now, you Gen Z, whatever, you only know Michael Bay, right? You only know what you know now, the live action shit. You are gonna be like, oh my God, this shit is hard. Transformers 1 is hard as fuck. Transformers 1 slaps. Transformers 1 bangs. And here's why. This origin story, the way that it was told, it wasn't told in a cartoony way, even though it's plenty of humor. It wasn't told in a like like, I guess what I'm saying, like a money grab kind of way. Like it's very witty too. It was told in a way that it's a relatable story. And then after you watch it, as you're watching it, as the shit unfolds, like honestly, the way they characterize both Optimus Prime and Megatron, like if you've ever had a problem with any of these characters, that shit is gone. Because now you see, this is literally the core of who these characters are, because this is when they was young, right? So this is before all that shit you see after the fact, right? Right? All that Optimus bullshit, all that, I'm the main guy. Like Optimus pisses me off because he tends to do too much. He's a great fighter, but he tends to do too much. He tends to be like, I'm good. Megatron, obviously, this nigga just wants to burn the world down, right? But it didn't always be that way. And when you get to see from the ground up how their relationship was, they put so much depth into these two toys that now have life and have meaning and have again, a relationship and brotherhood. Like all the words in that sentence I read earlier are 100% true in the way that they wrote this fucking movie. And it is so entertaining. It is funny. It is, I mentioned, humorous. It looks fucking fantastic, Ben. ILM put their foot in this shit because I was also surprised. I didn't realize this. Steven Spielberg is an executive producer and Michael Bay is a producer. And this was directed by Josh Cooley, who I don't know what else he directed, but he did Toy Story 4 and Inside Out.
Oh,
that's why this shit was so goddamn good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now it makes all he did Up. Okay.
Oh.
There it is.
I mean, then it's Up.
There it is. No, this shit was a fucking blast. I had my misgivings, like you said you saw the trailer, you was like, all right, whatever. I thought, this could be some shit that they just gonna put on the streaming services and call it a day. No, this shit is movie worthy. And especially as that, like the first 10 minutes, they had me locked. And at the end, or even halfway through, I was like, I need Ben here because there's so much, and you don't know until you know. But even if you don't know, it's okay. There are so many fucking Easter eggs in here. There are so many characters. There are so many sub-stories and plots that unless you was there from the beginning like Ben, or unless you was there from the Beast Wars, unless you was there from Michael Bay, you wouldn't know and it wouldn't make sense to you. So there's so many entry points for every generation of Transformer fan in here. And even if you don't know shit about Transformers, you just want to see a good-ass movie, that's it. This shit was on the caliber of the good Pixar movies.
Spider-Verse? Tough, right?
I don't know if I can answer that.
Tough.
Because to me, Spider-Verse is a different movie.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And I think Spider-Verse still has that advantage of being one of the things where it's pushing the medium. And at least from what I've seen of this animation, I didn't see that same stuff from it. Like the trailer didn't give me this is pushing the medium shit.
Going back to that, ILM put their whole goddamn foot.
Okay, so shit. I might be wrong.
When I say, go ahead.
No, and I just think that from what you're saying, I think the trailer is just one of them terrible trailers.
Thank God. Thank God it's a terrible trailer. Because it sets you up thinking, okay, this is going to be some regular
goofy shit. The trailer's super goofy.
And there's funny because best believe this is still a movie for kids. Technically, right?
Yeah.
The whole point of Transformers is to sell toys. Before the movie starts, you see a giant emblem that says Hasbro. You know what Hasbro is? Monopoly. This
toy
shit.
Company.
All toys. Yeah. Okay. At the end of the day, this is about selling toys, and we see them in the back.
This is Hasbro behind me. This is
that's all Hasbro. Money. At the end of the day, let's be very clear what this is about. So the level of story still has to be accessible enough for kids, but also keep adults engaged. Because like I said, Transformers is 50 years old now? If that?
Oh, goddamn. It's
40, 50 years?
40, yeah, definitely 40.
At least 40?
Yeah, it's
so a 40-year-old property, an IP. So there's a lot potentially at stake and all this other stuff. But I thank the stars that I didn't get all hyped beforehand because I went there completely blank slate and I was just blown away, really. I was impressed by it. I was impressed just again about the visuals. The way that it was CGI, it's CGI type animation, but they look like toys. And I don't know if I'm expressing this in the proper terms. It's like as I was watching, I felt like I was holding a Megatron and Optimus and all the other characters. I was holding them. It was as if a kid was playing out their. And when I say that, I don't mean they were bouncing around in midair like life is. I mean they had full life, full range of motion. But at the end of the day, you knew they were toys, and they were in this imaginary world, and they were sentient, and they were had independence, and it was just literally. And again, I'm also, this is the fandom in me coming out. It was as if your dreams of how a storyline would go with these Transformer characters if it came to life, and that's what it was, and that's probably that Toy Story stuff from Josh.
Now, see, I think the biggest thing that this film is trying to run into especially from people who are like big fans or from my generation, is the Transformers the movie comparison. Because Transformers the movie is, I want to say 84. It's old as dirt now, but it was an animated film that they did after like the first 2 seasons of G1. They did a big budget movie, and overall, like I was just telling Tatiana during the break, it's a fucking incredible film. Like, it has some of the biggest voice acting cast ever. Like, it is literally Orson Welles' last film. He plays Unicron, and it is, the legendary Orson Welles. It is his last film. Leonard Nimoy plays Galvatron.
Spock in that bitch?
Yep, Spock up in there, killing it as Galvatron. Here's a hint. Oh my God, I won't tell you the setup for that line. For here's a hint, but it is, anyone who's seen that movie, it's one of the favorite lines ever. You're gonna cry laughing when you watch it, Tatiana. Like, just remember that I said, "Here's a hint," and you're gonna cry.
Like how I felt when you told me to read the original Infinity Gauntlet.
It's
like when I read that
there.
And I was crying,
I
could not believe it.
Nigga, when I was in the theater, I fell out of my seat laughing. It was like, as a kid, it was a moment that I'd waited for forever, for those 2 seasons of that first shit. I was so happy for it. But back to the whole thing, it is a wild movie because while, once again, it is made for kids, the story behind the scenes was Hasbro at the time was like, yo, we've already sold enough Optimus Primes, we've sold enough Bumblebees, we've sold enough of these. Get rid of all these niggas so we can make new toys. So the writers of the movie were like, word, get rid of? And murdered off a lot of Transformers. Like, everybody knows Optimus Prime dies in the film, but it's not him that is the devastating shit, at least for young Ben. I mean, when I'm sitting in the theater and they shoot Prowl in the chest and smoke pours out of this nigga's mouth. Like, so I'm wondering, do we get that type of stuff in Transformers 1?
Listen, I mean...
Because this shit was dark.
Yeah. Well, there's some dark things happening, but I won't say it's a dark movie, right? Because at the end of the day, this still got to be
at the end
palatable
of the day,
for kids.
There's super goofy shit in Transformers the movie too, but like, I'm just saying, it begins with a slaughter of most of the Autobots.
Wow.
A lot of the Decepticons get killed, and I'm talking the beginning.
This one,
the first 10 minutes, these niggas is dead.
This entry point isn't death. No,
let me tell you how quick it happens. The first time I saw this movie, I went to see it by myself as a kid. I rode the bus to the theater, went to see it, got there late, right? So I missed these niggas getting murdered because I was like 10 minutes late.
No, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They are dead within the first 10 minutes. Easily.
This is an adventure movie. This is a buddy movie. Stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it truly is, from beginning to end, it is an organic progression of 2 bots that were dead ass besties.
Yeah, that's ill.
And the way, Ben, I was in shock because I was like, because my thing, you could do anything, right? About figuring out why they're enemies, right? You can say anything. But the way they got there, the reason why, like, it was actually plausible. Like, yes, from a writing mechanic perspective, it made sense. But literally just from an emotional perspective, I was like, I feel him.
And that's fire.
I can see both sides.
Yeah, that's fire. Because one, I mean, I'm sure I haven't read enough of the comics and stuff, but I know like there's like some really incredible Transformers comics. I know a dude who I really respect kept telling me how I needed to read this one line. They were like, this is the greatest comic book out right now. It's just like super emotional. Anything you would want from a comic. So I know they've explored that already, in the comics, especially, and through other mediums. Yeah, I haven't read it either, but I really like this because that's so different than Transformers the movie. Because Transformers the movie picks up after, like, it's 100 years. I'm not sure how many. No, it's not 100, but it's even mad years later from when the cartoon was. So it's like, these niggas have been, like, Megatron at one point said, I've waited thousands of years for this moment when he was about to kill Prime. Like,
so that shit was way down the
line. So it's like they've been, so this is the beginning and then that's the end,
This is the beginning.
Yeah.
And the other part why, and again, this is maybe the nerdy stuff coming out for me, in me, but the lore.
Yeah.
Like, the lore is so rich. I just forgot how deep Transformer really goes in terms of lore. Like, I dead ass became a book, like immediately I was like, oh no, I gotta read my shit. Like, cause like I said, there's so much things being referenced in the back that you don't even realize it's happening. Like it doesn't take away anything from the film. It's like, if you don't know, it's not gonna affect you. Yeah. But like, if you do know, you're sitting there with your hands on your head, like, oh my God. But that lore and this to continue to enrich the lore more and give more context and body to just, oh, these two niggas hate each other. Like it's at the end of this, I said, it is way more than I thought. It wasn't just some nigga that don't like this nigga. It's deep seated, right? And it was giving Magneto versus Professor X.
Which
in terms of that depth.
Yeah.
And that it was at the end, I was like, God damn, I just saw an X-Men situation.
Yeah, so, and I was trying to look it up to actually see who it is because
I'll tell you now.
No, not that. No, not that. About like the whole creation of the Transformers. Because like I used to read the comics back in the day, and that's what I was telling Tati this in between that it was interesting how the whole thing was created, right? Because basically what happened was, I want to say it's Hasbro even then. Hasbro basically bought up the rights to a bunch of different Japanese toys. Like Megatron was from one company. You know, the Optimus Prime toys from another company.
Okay.
This guy was from another company. So they bought up all this shit. It was like, okay, we're going to put all this together for an American line of toys. And, you know, since most of these are transformable toys, we're going to call them something. And then they went to Marvel Comics and was like, yo, we really want to sell this joint. I'm not sure if they'd already done G.I. Joe with them or not, but it was like basically the same type of thing where they basically had all these toys that had all these Japanese names, etc. And it was like, Marvel, someone over there write this comic and just give us a story, right?
Wow.
So I'm not sure who it is, if it's between Larry Hama. Larry Hama is the one who, he's one of my gods.
G.I. Joe, right?
Yeah, he wrote all the G.I. Joe shit. Then people list him, but they also list Bob Budiansky, who I've heard about before, and Bob Harris, who was the editor. And out of those three people, they basically came up with everything we know. Like they came up with the whole idea of them fleeing Cybertron, you know, crash landing on Earth. They came up with Optimus Prime, Megatron, the names, the characterizations, Starscream, all these different characters, how they acted, how they interacted. And that comic book back in the day was fire. And like, it was like I think Bob Harris, I always heard, and Bob Budiansky were like the last people to take the job. Like nobody else at Marvel wanted to take the job, you know, and they took the job. And I've also heard they came up with most of that shit in a weekend because they had to do a pitch back to Hasbro. So like they went home on Friday night, and by Monday, I mean, everything that we know, you know, like it's at least Generation 1.
Yeah,
like the majority of Generation 1 shit came up in that weekend.
Jesus Christ. I mean, the reason that, and this history, like the reason why I'm so tapped in right now, like why I'm just wild passionate about what I saw and everything it connects to, because it also, it's a legacy. Like this movie in itself, obviously it builds into the pre-existing legacy, but it gives you more. And it just I was just like, my God, when I talk about how deep this goes, like all the different generational iterations of Transformers. Like I mentioned Beast Wars, and there was stuff, clearly mad shit before that. And there was different versions of the Transformers after that, right? There's versions now that I don't know what the fuck they are, or what vehicle animal they could be. But just the fact that, and it's like this idea of this story that's retold over and over again in a, you know, a bit different way, because it's a good ass story. It has the bones, and this has its bones, and they strong ass bones. Okay,
and
like, this is good.
That's another one. Is I remember I watched the Toys That Made Us documentary, and the Transformers episode. If you haven't seen that, you should peep that, Tatiana. You will love it.
Okay, I'll watch it. Like I forgot. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and let me be clear. Like people's like, oh well, you were just Transformers head. I wasn't watching, listening to no goddamn Transformers. Nothing. Like I've largely ignored most of the rest of the last few Transformers films, with the exception of the one where we went to the red carpet event. Like whatever the other, I think there was one right after that I didn't see. I didn't see a lot of those Bumblebee movies.
No, that's the latest. Whatever. Bumblebee's fire. That was the latest one. Bumblebee was great.
Yeah, it was something. I felt like it was something else that I missed. And I'm not saying that it wasn't good. It's just like I wasn't on. You know, I just wasn't there for that. And so it's not like I was just like always, you know, glazing over Transformers. Like, no, like I was just like, it's cool. It's something that I liked. And, you know, I kept it pushing because it's something I knew. But for this to like throw me immediately back into the fandom. I'm like, I told Ben, I said, I'm buying all the goddamn toys from this film immediately.
And see, for me, I'm hyped because it's at least for G1, I'm a G1 head. You know, like that was one of the first toys I ever bought. That movie and that show were like big parts of my childhood, just massive parts of my childhood. Mm-hmm. And then that comic book for, I want to say at least the first 30, 40, 50 issues, I bought all them shits and read them, and they were great, you know? And so, like, it was a lot of stuff that, you know, I just love to death about them. And like I said, the Transformers, the movie, I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. I know most of it by heart. Yeah. You know, like, I cannot tell you how many times I've watched that movie.
Replayability, that's what you just said, remind replayability of Transformers 1, it's there. This is something you can watch again and again. If you want it on in the background, fine, whatever. But this is something that you will enjoy watching again because it's a good film. It is really, truly that good. The voice acting is impeccable. I don't know how many iterations they went with each of these actors, like really deliver these lines, but it don't feel like, you know, someone talking over the character on screen. It feels like the voices are coming through the essence of the characters. And again, deep, what's the word? Like when you're talking about things that like, what's the word I'm looking for? Mythology, like deep mythology here. So like, for example, Chris Hemsworth, he's Optimus Prime, right? The character, and I can tell you the character name. That's not a, before he was Optimus Prime, he was called Orion Pax.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's straight lore.
That I don't know that shit.
Yep.
Brian Tyree Henry, Paperboy from Atlanta. He's Megatron.
Wow.
D16 was he was before he was Megatron. And when I say the moment he opened his mouth, I said that's a black man.
And he is so. I mean, we all love him.
I didn't know all these people were the voices. Okay, but when I heard Brian, I said that's a nigga.
He's wild underrated, man.
He's so underrated. When I say the fact that they made Megatron a nigga, that, and also it's just like, why the black man got to be the bad guy? But it's like, it's a layered and nuanced bad guy, so that's fine.
The Megatron is layered and nuanced.
Scarlett Johansson is Alita 1. She's the pink one.
Yep.
Keegan Michael Key, he's Bumblebee.
Nice.
And fantastic job. John Hamm is Sentinel Prime. And then Lawrence.
So is Alita 1 RC's mom?
I don't fucking know. Lawrence Fishburne.
RC is not in this then. RC is the other pink robot.
I don't fucking know.
Okay.
And also I don't want to give nothing away. So
okay,
because I might have an answer for you. Morpheus is Alpha Trion, which you'll see who that is when you watch. And then
I kind of know who Alpha Trion is already.
Okay. Yeah. Steve Buscemi is Starscream.
Oh, nice.
Starscream is one of my favorites.
Oh well, you have to see the Transformers the movie. Okay. You need to watch it tonight. It's on YouTube. Even you should watch it like as soon as you can. And
there's some others that they've named that I don't want to say because I want you to be surprised when you see them.
No, please don't. Yeah, because I want to.
Yeah, I just named the main top ones that everyone sees.
I kind of know who Alpha Trion is, right? He's one of the dudes before Prime, I think. But yeah.
He's an elder.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's all from the book. And Orion Pax is straight from. I think that goes back to the comic. I think that's the first time he's named because I know that name, so that goes back to when I was reading something.
Okay. And I didn't know none of this. So I was just sitting there like, okay, cool. And that's what I'm saying. It was so funny and so stupid of me. Like when I went in there not knowing anything, I was sitting there watching. I was like, this nigga looks like Optimus Prime. This one looks like Megatron. And then I was just, because they don't, this is the beginning when they're young, when they're kids. So they don't exactly look the way they do, but they got the remnants. They got the beginnings. So I'm like, they look familiar. And then, halfway through, I'm like, oh,
yeah. See, I knew that. I would have remembered that once I sat down. That I remembered that it was an origin story of those two. Yeah, I remember that because that's in the trailer, and I was like, okay, yeah.
It was a good background. Just good background to the characters. Good background to the world of Cybertron. Good background to, as you know, this is thousands of years in the making, right? The series is over centuries, right? When you really talk about the entire IP, technically it's centuries of these characters' lives.
Oh yeah,
right?
Thousands of years for that matter.
To be able to just jump into a different century for this and then tell a new story that is, and like I said, that takes I'm sure it takes liberally from things like the comics and other places.
Oh yeah, they've done this story before.
Okay.
Trust. Yeah,
I didn't know that they did this story before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have done it. I'm not sure where, but
like this though, I don't know.
No, not like this. And never, as far as I know, there's I want to say it's on Netflix. There was like a trilogy of these Transformers movies on something recently that I watched the first one. And it starts early, but the war is already going on. So it's no, I don't, and animated, I don't think they've ever shown this. As far as comic books, I'm sure they've done it. Because there have been too many comics.
Of course. But also, like, who knows that shit, right? Like,
no, that's what I mean.
You can't put nobody off the street and be like, you
said
you know
the story of Brian Pax?
Yeah.
No. That's
these niggas, these are like the names they mama gave them, right?
Yeah, that's a
I didn't know
cut.
the nigga was D16. Like,
I've never heard that one from Megatron. That one I've never heard.
Bumblebee is B127. And I'm sure that was carried over into the Bumblebee movie. Yeah. I ain't fucking know that.
I've never heard either of those. I know Orion Pax because he like goes through the whole, he has to become a prime and all that type of shit.
Okay.
So I know that. Yeah.
Well, all that to say,
is the Matrix of leadership in this?
All that to say, this was an incredible film.
That's another great line. Open, damn it!
This isn't over, Prime. I had a really good time with this, and I'm really happy I got to experience this. So thank you to our friends over there. Y'all know who you are for the invite. But I'm highly recommending this. I can't wait till Ben sees it so he can tell me about all the shit I missed, because I know I only scratched the surface of what I saw. And there's also them type of films where there's mad shit on the screen sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's mad bots. And it's just like, there is niggas I know. I was like this trying to look at everything. And I was like, only Ben knows who that is. Ben knows what that is.
Yeah. I know that they look like their G1 counterparts, especially when they get into the final forms or whatever. So I know a lot of that stuff I do know. But like when you get into like you say, the Beast Wars and stuff like that, and even the later G's after that, I only found out recently in like the last 10 years that they were calling it G1. I was like, what the fuck is G1? I'm like, that's the shit I watched. Oh,
that's how
cool.
like with Pokemon, it's called original G1. So
yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I know.
No, I'm just, again, I highly recommend this. This is good. What am I getting this? This is getting a tomato because we're Rotten Tomato proof critics.
There we
go.
Get
into it.
Nice.
Letter grade, I give this an A.
Okay. And
I'm just excited for Ben to see. Oh, and there's two scenes. There's a mid-credit and an after-credit scene.
All right.
So stay behind and stick around for the entire thing, for it to get the whole.
I might have to go peep this weekend, man.
See, and whether again, I don't know if you're gonna rate it as high or if you're gonna think.
Oh no, I've heard. Whatever. No, I've heard.
Think you're going to flip out from just characters alone.
I've heard that it's great, and like I say, those are some of my favorite characters. I grew up with them, and if it gets the essence of them, then I'm down for it. So.
The essence of who Optimus and Megatron are, and even the players that support them is all there.
And then Brian Tyree,
I'm good Tyree, for that. Come on, Paperboy.
I just saw
Keegan-Michael Key, particularly too, because that's my Key and Peele.
Oh yeah,
that's
great.
My man.
No, he's also great.
And Chris Hemsworth, the best Chris, next to Evans. I don't know. Yeah.
Hemsworth is my favorite Chris. Yeah. Damn, no, you're right.
I think Evans is.
Evans in real life is probably my favorite Chris. Yes. Hemsworth on screen, but it's tight.
Nah,
but I like Evans on screen too.
Chris Evans on screen for Wolverine was kind of funny.
Yeah, but Chris Hemsworth, I keep telling you about that.
And Hemsworth, no, that man can act his ass.
No, I keep telling you about that fucking movie, The Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, I gotta see that shit.
Oh God, you'll never look at this.
Surprised me with Fury Road. So
I've only seen that shit once, and I'm not going back again. Just that nigga is horrific.
Yeah,
I'm not going back.
No, and even though it's him, like I had a sense it was Chris, but it didn't sound like Chris. If that makes sense. Like
no,
it wasn't
he can
straight up. Like you know his voice, it's him, but it wasn't like he did do something with some inflection there, and they added some filters. I don't fucking know. Brian Tyree Henry, I couldn't pinpoint that it was him, but I knew he was black.
Because it was just pointed out, or I was just reminded that he's Miles' dad in Spider-Verse.
Oh, right. Yes.
And I'm like, you know, when I don't
Brian
hear
got that voice.
I don't hear that though. I hear Miles' dad. You know what I mean? I don't hear him.
Brian is multifaceted. You don't hear him. You hear the character.
It's also very impressive because he's such a great actor, and like making that transition to acting, to voice acting, is mad difficult. You know, for a lot of actors. Yeah. So that's like really impressive that he's able to pull off, you know, both of these roles like that.
They pulled it off. But that's my review of Transformers 1. When does it actually drop?
I thought it was this weekend, right?
I thought so too, but this thing is saying later. Transformers 1 release date is September 14th.
Okay, this weekend. So yeah. I'm going, all right, I'm going to get some tickets to go see it this weekend. Yeah. Word up.
Yeah, and see it on the big screen if you can.
Oh, yeah, you know that.
It's worth it. And even if you can't, just please watch it whatever way you can as soon as possible.
Word. All right. Well, thank you for that review, Tatiana. Real quick before we get out of here, I want to give a quick shout out to Fight Night $1 Million Heist. It's a new series. It's a limited series on Peacock. It stars Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson, Terrence Howard. Down the line, I think one of the
Chloe Bailey.
Yeah, I knew that was her. Okay, because
Lori Harvey.
Because she doesn't show up right. Oh,
Lori Harvey's Lola Falana.
That's Lori. Okay, yeah. I mean Lola is a baddie, but yeah, she's looking good. She's only been in like one scene that I've seen so far. There's 3 episodes out right now. I didn't finish the second one. I got through the majority of the second one. I got to go back. Yeah, it's a plethora of motherfuckers in it. Some cats from BMF are in there. It is all kind of Negroes.
Isn't War Machine? What's the nigga's name?
Yes, Don Cheadle's up in there. Yeah, Don Cheadle's up in there.
Oh, my boy, our boy, Zero. That doesn't exist in the number 0. That doesn't believe in the number 0.
Yeah, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard playing a pure crime boss. He's amazing so far.
You know, he showed up to the premiere in full regalia.
As he should. As he should. The
wig too.
Yeah, the wig is fabulous. He's fucking smashing.
I was just like, why is he doing this?
Of course. It's like, come on, this is the role Terrence Howard was meant to play. Like you know,
more than Lucius Lyon.
I mean, it's like right up there. You know, it's like because it's it's the same type of thing. You know, crime boss. You know, just like Lucius. So, no, so far I'm loving it. The first episode starts off and it sets up everything, and then the second episode I like because then it shows you how everything is set up, excuse me, from the other side. Like the second episode shows you the criminals and how they came together. Okay. And to rob this joint, you know. And so that's where I'm at in the second episode. I want to say it's 8 episodes.
Is it? Okay.
I'm not 100%.
I want to see it.
3 episodes out now. Yeah. There's 3 episodes out now. I guess a new one every Thursday. So I'm guessing the next one comes out tomorrow. Not 100% sure, but it said every Thursday, so I would assume. And yeah, I'm waiting to, for it to all come out. I'll finish it, of course, because I've been enjoying it so far, and it's pretty solid. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone, especially if you want to see some blackness. It takes place in Atlanta, and it's supposed to be like one of the, this happened, but didn't really happen. But they're also saying this is one of the reasons why Atlanta is Atlanta today.
Because Atlanta's not a real place. So anything that could have actually maybe happened,
but
maybe not. Like, it's plausible deniability at that point. And that's why, shout out Issa Rae. I was just rooting for everybody black. So once I saw that cast, I didn't care what they was talking about.
I ain't give a damn. I saw the cast. I saw Terrence Howard in that outfit.
Yeah.
I was like,
as soon as I saw Terrence, I was I'm like,
we here. I'm here. I'm like, because I don't know how many more roles he's gonna play. So anytime Terrence Howard shows up, I'm like, I gotta see it.
He don't show up a lot no more.
No, and so it's like, so I'm like, I gotta see it.
He's too busy doing white papers about, math.
Yeah, I mean, hey, keep doing it, bro.
And also, since we talking about Peacock, shout out to the what was the season 2 or season 3 of Bel Air. Finished that a few weeks ago, but I love this series. The series is fantastic. It gets better every year, and this season was fantastic as well. Great cliffhanger, and I can't wait to.
Is that Joffrey? Did they bring Joffrey up on that? How is a different character? Jeffrey. Yeah.
What's the question? Yeah.
They actually brought playing a different character, or is he playing Jeffrey? They're playing a different character.
No. All the OG characters are played by new people, but they did.
Yeah, I know that because I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I was like, I don't know if this is for me, but I saw a commercial and I was like, oh shit, Jeffrey up in this bitch again.
So if you're talking about like the very beginning of this
Yeah.
of the series, yeah, it's a little weird at first because
It was
y'all don't have to do exactly everything but get past.
Because they were doing everything in the first
and it was
episode.
Annoying. Trust, I know it was annoying, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna rock with this.
I heard it got better.
Get past it. Get past. Just get past the ugly stage, if you will. Right.
Yeah.
Let it bake, because once it bakes and it comes into its own, like, I'm not trying to copy every goddamn thing the original series did. Then it shines.
Yeah, and not even that. I just thought the first episode was like, we've seen all the movies, and we're gonna do all the directing.
It was corny. It was corny. Let's be real, but it redeems itself fairly quickly, and I got hooked.
When they did the slow motion shot when he fell into the pool, I was like, okay, I'm out. Like, I've seen Snatch too, guys.
Yeah, it's some stuff like, okay, I get it.
I've seen the movies you've seen. All right, I love an over directed thing, but then I'm also aware of when something is over.
But it's literally only those first few episodes that are over directed. After that, they really get into it. And yes, this was the third season that just concluded. And it's one of them things where you be yelling at the screen. That's like the for me, a black series, a series where you yelling at the characters and you caring about the choices or dumbass choices they making.
And since we're on the subject of Peacock, and even though it got canceled after 2 seasons, and I don't think you ever went and watched it, I will say it again because I was telling Chef at my job about it this week. Saved by the Bell, the reboot, is one of the greatest shows ever made. Like, it has no right to be as funny, as timely, as socially aware, everything as it is. I'm not even a big fan of the original Saved by the Bell. I used to actually actively hate it. And this shit is so brilliant, so amazing, that if you've seen the original, it'll really fuck you up. Because I only know the original, through osmosis and stuff. And like, I was about to go rewatch it because I was telling Chef at the job about it. Shout out to my brother, Chef Jay. And I was like, yo, fam, I'm, just talking to him about it. I was like, damn, I'm going to have to go rewatch this shit because it's that good. And if you've never seen it, Tati, please.
I haven't.
Oh my God. And also, just watch the pilot.
And I'm sure like the team behind it makes it what it is, because I just realized a moment ago when it comes to Bel Air, one of the people who developed the current format, or not the format, but the current look and feel of it is Malcolm Spellman.
Yep, I knew that.
And I didn't know that. I was like, aha.
Get that money, bro.
Aha, that's why. Other people, there's other people, Morgan Cooper, TJ Bradley, and Rashid Newson. But I just saw Malcolm, and I just said, oh, there it is. I'm seeing.
Well, like I say, while you're on Peacock, everyone, make sure you peep Fight Night, and then go peep Saved by the Bell, because Saved by the Bell...
Peacock's actually worth it, y'all. Like, even if you just do
really
the free trial real quick, or just grab somebody, log in.
And I just realized that is that dude from Saved by the Bell. He's on Fight Night too, one of the black kids, and I'm very happy to see him getting more work. I want to say
black people on Saved by the Bell besides Lisa.
No, okay. All right. This is the thing about the reboot of Saved by the Bell. The absolute geniusness about it is, one, it follows it's the kids of, like, Zach is now mayor or governor of California.
So it's the kids of those niggas.
So Zach's son is at high school. But what the super genius part of it is, before Zach's character gets voted out, because he gets voted out because of this decision, he does a move where he integrates the school. So what's the name of the school at
I almost said Bel Air. Bayside.
No, it's Bayside High. So Bayside High gets integrated at the beginning of it, where this...
What year is this taking place in?
Right now. So it's
integration?
Like... No, not integration, where it's like they shut down the school in the hood and they bust all those kids over to Bayside.
So basically integration. Okay.
So basically integration. And it is... That's how schools are now. Like, they had a good school and a school in the hood. And so they shut it down, and it was his plan, so they vote him out for this shit. Like...
White man trying to make change.
Yeah, this show is so real. Here. No, all right. Mello Margaret, or the dude I wrote, Mello Brown, my brother who I wrote Hendrix with, he's who put me onto it, right? And at one point he tells me about this scene where the same black kid who is in Fight Night gets some racist shit happens to him, right? Okay. So he's sitting in the principal's office, and he's sitting there waiting for the principal to come in, and his Latina homegirl, the other lead in the show, comes rushing in, right? And she's like, yo, what happened? And my man's like, you know, he does this.
Like me.
And there's subtitles. Racism happened.
Smart.
And so she sees it. He's like, and it's like, racism back. And she's like, word, runs out. And it's like, you know, gets on it.
I didn't know this was a comedy.
No, it is a brilliant comedy. Because it's Saved by the Bell, but it's like they take everything that happened on that show. Yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. And then the casting, like I was so mad that it got canceled because I just wanted to make sure that all these kids kept working. Like the white boy who plays Zach's son's comedic timing is some of the greatest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Listen, I don't know what they're doing at Peacock. The casting of Bel-Air is like that, where it's like, okay, y'all
I
got
just
the
need to see y'all keep working because yo, that's what I'm saying. You gotta watch this out there. You will like there is shit I'm crying at. And then it gets weirder than even that shit I told you about. There is like some super weird shit in season 2 that is like it's crazy, but it's fun. You know that show. Yeah. I was so mad it got canceled.
Before we go, I just want to make sure we mention we want to do a rest in power to several people who've passed in the last week, 2 weeks. Okay. Most recently this morning, got the news about the legendary Frankie Beverly. 77. Most Black American households, probably since the day you could understand what music was, you probably heard Frankie Beverly in some way, shape, or form at some type of Black function, family function. So he's always been a part of our lives, you know, regardless of your age, generally speaking. Okay, yeah, sure, there's outliers, but I'm just saying he's well known in the community.
If you know, I mean, it's like Before I Let Go, it's just, you know, that's ageless.
Shout out to Malek Thomas. He went to Howard with me. So he said, Before I Let Go is the Electric Slide song more than the Electric Slide song.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Like
easily.
The impact this has, the culture this has, right?
Yeah.
And of course, this man, that's not the only hit he's
no,
had. He
Joy and Pain. Like, I mean, it goes on. Happiness.
He was 77, and to this day, like, he was still touring and doing things. Yeah. So, like, he was still, like, his shit that was 40 years old now, his music that, you know, is riding strong to this day. So, and that's, for many, many artists, that's very much unheard
of. Another one that I don't even know if you heard about this or even know that much about him was earlier this week, rest in peace to John Cassidy, which really broke my heart because he was 52 years old. And John Cassidy is an artist extraordinary. He's a comic book artist. He is most known for Planetary, which I talk about all the time. It is in my top 5 probably of all time greatest comic books ever. And John Cassidy is a big reason why Planetary is so beautiful and just, I mean, it just hurts my heart because it's like, it's a strange world out there. Let's keep it that way was the mantra of that book. And, you know, it's like somebody posted that in response to him passing, you know, it's a strange world out here. Let's keep it that way. And it's just.
Yeah. I think this is about to become like a section of the Academy Awards where they do the in memoriam. Peter Renaday, the voice actor known as the original Master Splinter, he passed.
Oh man, I didn't know that one.
Obviously, one of the biggest news of the passing of James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
You know, and Mark Hamill tweeted, you know, rest in peace, Dad.
I mean, and it's like you Chico Leo was listening to old movies, you know, joints I've never seen. Somebody posted this old X-rated joint from the 70s where he's wilding out in it.
James Earl Jones?
Yes. I mean, it's not a porn. It's just X-rated because of other things. I don't know. I've never seen this movie, but the scene, the nigga he slaps this white dude and delivers this line like only James Earl Jones can. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And then, like, I mean, one of my personal favorites, I know a lot of people say Lion King, of course, Coming to America.
Yeah, Darth Vader, everything.
Field of fucking Dreams, man. Like, he is so good in that. Like, God damn.
I mean, again, a culture carrier, a king in his space. I heard some not so good things about him.
I did too.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know until the day he passed.
I honestly didn't either, yo.
I was like,
word?
You know, still rest in peace to him.
Yeah, still rest in peace. But I was like, damn, homie.
Really? Right.
And you was like, and they was like, yo, he was like this till he was old and gray. Like, this nigga didn't give a shit. And I was like, oh well, you know, damn it. Yeah, rest in peace, brother.
rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan.
Man, listen.
That hurt too. I was like,
We were
and he was young.
About that. Yeah, we both on the Rap Ruler show. We were just talking about like, you know, like it's a lot of mumble rappers who I don't give a shit about, but Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan are two of my favorite rappers of any generation ever. Like, you know, them niggas. Yeah, like, you know. When I'm in club, you know.
Yeah,
when I walk through.
Man.
When I walk through.
I mean, not I was like, fuck. And like, also as a millennial, like he's that's a sound. That's a soundtrack of a section of our lives. So
for I'm older than millennial, but like as a club goer, like that nigga was a section of like like there was a time like I mean, rest in peace to Dallas Penn. Like
rest in peace to Dallas Penn.
As hip hop as Dallas Penn was, one of my father's memories is always Dallas Penn talking about lifestyle. That was like when I knew Dallas tipped his ear to the street when he was like, "Yo, Ben, you gotta play that lifestyle." Like, oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, those folks are rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. Also, rest in peace to B King.
Oh God,
that
H-Town,
I was
man.
Fucking upset about that too. Like another thing about music that's just part, and he's newer, but he's 39 years old, but still,
massive.
Come on, man, like
rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop. It goes on, fucking on, man.
That's another thing. Like literally, all of these were happening this last week and a half, back to back, and not to say niggas don't pass every day, B. I get it, but it's just like all these particular people back to back to back.
Yeah,
it's hard. So
and then I mean, today is September 11th,
and today's September 11th,
and that's a lot of
other
things.
Stuff, so
and for a lot of people, it's a big thing, and for me personally, it's my mother's birthday.
Right.
Now it's been 5 years that I've been celebrating without my mom in the physical form, so it's been a lot.
But let's celebrate her life, right? Let's celebrate the beautiful you. She brought you into this world, right? We wouldn't be here without you today. And like I say, I always want to do a positive light, right? Like there's some. This is a good day as well. Just happy birthday to Jade. Jade from Getting Grown.
Oh, nice.
Today's her birthday, right?
Yes.
There's just a few other people whose birthdays today.
Oh yeah, I got too many on September 11th. It's not just my mom. I mean, my whole goddamn family is Virgos. So real quick, let me just shout all of them out because they all just or will have birthdays. First, shout out to my nephew Ajay, whose birthday passed. Shout out to his mother Nuari, my niece, whose birthday also passed. Shout out to Nife, my other niece. Her birthday is in 3 days. Shout out to my other nephew Kambui. This is when we get into Libras, October 2nd. And shout out to my sister Juju, whose birthday is October 5th. Yeah. All right now, goddammit. Yeah. Anyway, before we get out of here, once again, please thank you to everyone who has been supporting me by purchasing Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. Please at me. Let me know what you think. Shout out to anyone who would like to do a review or an interview and talk to me about it. Hit me up at DJ Ben Amin. I'll get you a digital copy. If you're reputable enough, I will get you a physical hardcover copy just like this. We'll talk to Titan and get that over to you. I'm trying to do some shit over at Black Nerd Problems. So anyone over there, let me know, because I would love to get a write-up over there. I really like their work, and I want some real intellectual takes on this book.
Yeah. And I'm go ahead, because I was going to say one more RIP,
okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, last thing on this, the leagueofcomicgeeks.com. Please, everyone, if you can, go over there, make an account. It takes a few seconds, and then go over there, and while you're there, rate Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. Give it that 5-star rating. If you're going to do all this, make sure you give it a 5-star. Don't go over there and disrespect my book after you did all this. This is the first time you ever heard of this site. So, leagueofcomicgeeks.com. Leave a rating. You can leave a review if you want. You can write a review. But all I ask, if you just go leave it a review, big it up and all that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And also, I mean, this is a little bit outside of the realm of the stuff we talk about, but it's also very relevant. Rest in power to Rebecca Cheptegei, Olympic runner.
Oh yeah.
Violence against women is insane.
Yeah.
This was gender-based violence. So she's a Ugandan Olympic athlete. Literally, she was just at the damn Olympics. So
I saw some shit about how in America a man kills his family like every 3 days. Which was like, wow, nigga.
This is important when we say, believe the women.
I mean, it's important when I
support
say
the women, support women in
trash.
general. But yeah, like I said, with unfortunately, with all of the the sadness and the negativity, we do want to make sure that we're also uplifting, and we hope, if nothing else, like we're able to support others that may be in these positions. So,
I mean, like just like Mello said about our book, Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze, and like I feel the same way about what we do at For All Nerds. I think this show is a warm hug. He said that about our book, and I agree. But I feel like this show is a warm hug to anyone who needs it. So
I hope so. Yeah, and I hope what we're doing here is impactful to y'all listening. I hope you enjoyed what you heard here. Please make sure you are following us on all socials, For All Nerds. I'm Tatiana King. He's DJ Ben Hameen. Make sure you are subscribed to us everywhere on every platform, because we are there, For All Nerds. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, For All Nerds TV. If you want to support us more financially, even for $1 a month, you can go to patreon.com/forallnerds and go to forallnerds.com. It's new and improved, and there you will get access to incredible merch. And this stuff ships fast. So all y'all used to the Amazon type shipping where it comes in 2 days, you're gonna get it. So make sure you hit that up. And as always, thank you and bless to everybody who's been listening, who's been enjoying us, who don't really enjoy us but listen to us every week. Still bless you too.
Hey y'all, thank you for watching this For All Nerds video, whatever video it was that you just watched. Make sure you hit these buttons below. Press all those buttons, that like, that subscribe, whatever you see right below these fingertips right here. Just hit them, hit them, hit them.